I usually write for my morning post in the morning for the pre-market, like usually an essay. But this morning I did something a little different and made a pre-market analysis video. Instead, I posted for Discord members and paying Substack subscribers. Y'all let me know if you guys like how I did it this morning, or if you guys prefer me writing in the essay format like I usually did last year and the year before. Okay, let me know, all right? So get into the chart, guys. Is the top in is the big question. We had a gap down here on SPY. You see the gap down? Gap down on QQQ, big gap down. Gap down on IWM, but it kind of got filled. Big gap down on Apple, and that's a heavy-weighted stock. Big gap down on AMD. Not quite on Google or Microsoft, but you know, good amount of gap downs on SPY, QQQ, Apple, AMD. That makes me think of an exhaustion gap, which usually occurs when the trend is starting to get weak. Usually occurs when, and let's say in an uptrend, is an exhaustion gap. Is usually a sign that the buyers are running out of strength or demand is dropping. And we got a picture from Investopedia of what these exhaustion gaps can look like. They usually lead to more downside as long as they still, as long as they stay unfilled. One thing to note with these exhaustion gap is rising volume. So we got an exhaustion gap today. You guys can see the volume is rising a bit. Volume is rising a bit, guys, compared to last week. You guys see the pullback that started, the false breakout, 476.5 from last Friday, and then today's gap down. Volume is rising. QQQ, volume is rising. Apple, because we got to see if it fits the criteria of an exhaustion gap. It's rising. Okay? Exhaustion gaps are usually the signs of bearishness, and that demand is getting weak here. But we here on Uncle Charters' trading channel, we also follow the price action. Price action is the shepherd. So with that being said, I want to give you guys predetermined levels and predetermined setups for us to watch out for tomorrow, both the bull case and the bear case. We're going to do this unbiasedly, and it's on us to react and manage our risks. Okay? So we got 2 days of lower closes starting from Friday and today. If the pullback is to continue, guys, you guys see my 1.236 fib level at 471.3. That needs to break down next. If that does, we are likely dropping down lower. Possible trend line right here. Possibly drop down lower. I have a support. It's sloping up, but it's around 468.5.7. Okay, 468.7. And we're at a buy zone around 467.5. This was from mid-December. If those three levels fail, guys, that is our trigger to go short. Okay? That's our trigger to go short, and we could get a deeper pullback. All right? Good target. Some good targets would be 464. If 468.7 fail, I do have 467, 465.5, and 464 as support level if you're interested in playing level to level. But below 464, I would favor 459.4 being retested with 462 en route first. Okay, so that's the bear case scenario. If we drop down that 471.3 level and that 468.7 level, those two levels are critical. They break down, we are going lower. Okay, now if we're going to bounce here, if we're going to go back to buy the dip mode, 473 must clear along with 475 and of course 476.5. That's it. We had that false breakout last week. So a recapture of 476.5 would cancel that false breakout and be bullish, putting my next fib level at 478.6 and all-time high back in play. Okay, guys, you guys got the levels here. You know the setups. Let me know Triple Q, exhaustion gap, and intraday broke down my 1.382 fib level at 405.4, and it gave us a beautiful move down to 400. Beautiful. So obviously that is next support at 400 and 398.75. That is a fib level. If those two levels fail tomorrow, guys, downside, we are continuing down, and we are likely heading a lot lower. To be bullish, I need to see 405.4 recapture, and I could possibly put 408.7 and 410.8 back in play, okay? And of course, fill the gap. But overall, it needs to get back above 405.4. IWM, I mentioned last week, is that 203 level failed. Bearish. Definitely aged well. Smashing the next fib level around 198.7-ish. If that level fails tomorrow, we are likely heading down lower. Watch out for a rising morning star pattern. That's a bullish candle setup here, guys. So be very careful. If IWM clears 201.6 and 203 tomorrow, I would look to long. That's bullish with 205.5 and 207.5 back in play. Okay, so overall, 198.7 fail, bearish. If 201.6 recapture, bullish. Make sense? Tesla closed around the same level that it did last Friday. Okay, to be bullish, same plan, be bullish. It got to recapture 250, which is around where it opened today, and put higher targets back in play. 252, 254, 256, 258, and the critical fib level at 259.4. And if we break down 247, it tried to do it today but couldn't hold intraday. But if it breaks down 247 tomorrow, bearish with 244.5 and 242 in play. 242 is very critical based on the rising wedge and my multi-month down trend line. If 242 fails, that's a breakdown and false breakout setup of that downtrend line, and bears take control. All right. NVDA, very, very bearish looking candle here. Volume volume went up a little bit. Candle's big. Wow. So if 481 is critical support for tomorrow. If below that level, bearish with next fib level at 477.5. If that level fails, we are likely heading down a lot lower, maybe down to 471, maybe even lower than that. But overall, below 481, bears would be in control. To be bullish, 484.5, 486.5, and 490 has to recapture. Those levels recaptured, then maybe we can get a bounce back to the upside. Otherwise, watch for that breakdown of 481. We could head a lot down lower, okay? Apple, exhaustion gap. It even broke down the fib level at 185.79. As long as below, bearish. Follow through would be to break down 184 to put 182, 180, and 178 in play. I can't get bullish unless there's an attempt at least to go fill the gap. And the breakout level, resistant level, is at 188.5. Okay, so 187 and 188.5 are resistant level. If 188.5 clears, we'll likely go fill the gap to cancel this exhaustion gap with 191.2 and 192.5 in play for the gap fill. AMD, exhaustion gap, and broke down a couple of critical levels. My fib level at 142. It even broke down 140. Where did it close at? It closed at 138.5. So if it breaks down 138.5, guys, we're likely going down lower. Okay, 136, 134.5, and down to 132.8 would be next targets. I can't get bullish unless 140 and 142 recapture. To put 144 in play and above 144 would be an attempt to fill the gap, which would be around 147.5-ish, around there. Okay, Microsoft bounced right off of that 366.78 level, 366.78 level, excuse me. That was a previous high back in July. If that level fails, 366.78, bearish. Look to short. We are likely heading a lot lower, 365, maybe down to 360. I would only be bullish if we bounce from here, clearing 371, 371, 373.5, and 376. Okay, above 376 would be a breakout of this down green trend line here, and that would put 377.5 and 380 in play. Okay, Google Bounced pretty strongly off that 78.6 fib level, which is at 137.8-ish. 137.9 actually, okay? We'll round it down to 138. I would be bearish below 138 to put lower targets and play possibly down to 135, 36 and 134.5, all right? To be bullish, I need to see above 140 to put 142 plus up to 140 back in play. Netflix, big sell-off for continuation. 464 must fail tomorrow to put 159.5 and 154-ish back in play, okay? To get a bounce, it's going to have to recapture some levels. Staying above 468 would be a start. Clearing 470 and 474.5-ish would be a good sign. And of course, above 478 would put 482 and 485 back in play. Whoo! It's a lot of numbers. Struggle with that one. All right. I covered AMD. Here's Amazon. Yeah, we broke down that 152 level. I mentioned to be bearish as long as below, and it shows some decent follow through. If it wants to continue, 150 and 147.6 needs to fail tomorrow to put lower targets in play, maybe down to 145.8, down to 143.5 is a possibility with 142 below that. Can't get bullish unless 152 clears to put 154, 155.8-ish back in play. Okay, guys? And here is Darkpool. 475 was the most activity we had. 4.2 billion, guys. At 475, we look on the small time frame. That's around where it sold off from in pre-market. So possibly big money was taking profits in pre-market. It definitely was 475. Below it, bearish. Above it, possibly bullish. And let's take a look at some option flow. Filter it for 500. Nope, I'm going to do it for 100K premiums or above. Right now, SPY is bearish. QQQ is bearish. IWM is bearish. NVDA is bearish. Tesla is bullish. What the? Apple's bullish. Oh. AMD is bearish. Amazon is bullish. Netflix is nothing. And GOOG. Google is bullish. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want more content from Uncle Charlie, definitely consider joining my Discord. Other than that, have a great evening. Peace.